Welcome to the Deucecast Extra. We are back for another fun week to some of What If. I think we'll definitely talk about it, and walk through the episode and whatnot. Roth in Wyoming, what's up, buddy? Good to see you there. Dr. Earl is delayed. He will be here later to talk about the episode for sure. But what I thought we would do first, Garrison and I wanted to talk about the Hawkeye trailer and then also the mid-season trailer for What If, because there was some interesting stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, and right off the bat, rough day, man. Rest in peace, Norm Macdonald, one of the best comedians around, and he will certainly be missed. There was a lot of, I would just go watch clips on YouTube just to honor the guy, because he was something special. Really,
you could see the respect he had around the industry today.
yeah. And what's great is, and not to get like political or anything, but I think he crossed both lines politically. I mean, I think that everybody liked this guy. It did not matter if you were right or left or whatever. Everybody liked the guy, and it seems like a lot of his peers thought of him as not only a really great comedian, but as a nice human being. So, I mean, that's great. I mean, to hear that from all the people giving him, praise and stuff today. But and his memoir is really good too. Really funny. It's a really funny listen as well if you've got an Audible account, if you want to get it that way. So, yeah. Right off the bat, just wanted to say that. But on to Marvel content. Let us talk about this Hawkeye trailer. First, what's up, Nick, Melissa? How's it going? Good to see you guys. First of all, I am in love with the fact, and I guess I subconsciously knew this because of the time of year the show was being released, but I am in love with the fact that it's a Christmas show. That is just, I think it's a lot of people's thing, but I think it's fun. I think it's really fun. And of course, we saw that a little bit in Iron Man 3.
Yes.
Which was obviously written and directed by Shane Black.
Mhm.
And he infuses Christmas into a lot of his content.
Lethal Weapon, Jingle Bell Rock at the beginning.
Oh yeah,
not a happy opening, but
yeah, exactly. So if you go back and watch a lot of Shane Black's movies, even the stuff that he just wrote and maybe not directed, he likes to infuse a lot of Christmas content. So this felt, I think I immediately, DM'd Garrison and said, this feels Shane Black to me.
Yeah.
Just because it just has that vibe to it.
And it's got a very comedic vibe as well.
Yeah.
Which for Hawkeye, I think that fits the character pretty well. Yes, he's coming off of Ronin, which is a more depressing side of his character. But he's the silliest Avenger he's one of the silliest Avengers when you think about it.
yeah, definitely. No.
So I like that they're going with that vibe.
He is, yeah. I saw someone, and it may have been you, Garrison, but or somebody on Twitter or something said something along the lines of Clint Barton being one of those kids that just always wanted to be an action star when they were a kid, and he just made sure and got really proficient at a certain thing and eventually was able to use it, that being obviously the bow and arrow.
Yeah.
So, the interesting thing that we see at this trailer, it's almost like another, in a way, a Peter Parker thing, where a character that when he was going through hard times during the Infinity Wars days and the Endgame days, he was doing some pretty rough stuff, going out and killing people, and because he thought his family was gone, right? I mean,
yeah.
So he was going out and still going after criminals,
yeah,
but in a very violent way. And so
like the Yakuza and gangs and all this
stuff.
Yeah,
and everybody was I remember the lead up to that when we saw that image of him, everybody was super excited about Samurai Hawkeye. Apparently that was a thing in the comics, and so a lot of people got excited about that. Ronin, that's right, Ronin Hawkeye. And so we see that image sort of is come back to haunt him a bit, because there's somebody out there in the same type of costume doing some nefarious things, right?
Yeah, but also it seems very silly when he catches her because she seems like a fangirl.
She does immediately.
Kate Bishop, played by the great Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah.
I love her work.
Edge
of 17. Woody probably steals that movie, but she's fantastic in that.
She's good. And hey, I mean, who would have thought, like, Bumblebee, she is great in that movie.
Yeah.
She is an actress that seems very versatile in the sense that she has, at her age, has really good comedic timing. She's very good at the wit of that. Now, I haven't seen that show that she does on Hulu,
Dickinson or whatever,
but I've heard she's very good in it, and a lot of that is dark humor, and it takes an actress that has some wit about her to be able to pull that stuff off, and I think that she is doing well with that, and it seems like she's going to infuse some of that into Hawkeye. Oh, Earl's not as late as I thought he was going to be.
So guys,
look at this. Just as Roth called it, let me see if I can find it. He said that you were a zombie now, and you come in. He was
talking about Norm.
Oh, well, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, we did a little Norm talk, but right now we're in the middle of talking about the Hawkeye trailer.
Oh,
or I guess it's a teaser. I guess it's not a trailer. I don't know.
Well, it's a lot.
There was a lot of content.
It was called a trailer, but it actually has a lot. But to a normal viewer, someone who doesn't know the comics necessarily, I would say it's almost a teaser.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, exactly. And
I'm not going to fight you.
We did see very briefly, and I had forgotten that she was in the cast, but we saw Vera Farmiga very briefly in this trailer, and she is playing Eleanor Bishop. So she's Kate Bishop's mom, and that's a character that I did not know was in this show. And I don't know that I'm going to go through this cast list that's on IMDb, because I don't know if you can really ever trust IMDb, but there's a couple of actors that I'm excited about seeing in the show. That if you really want to look, there's one guy that's in Better Call Saul that I absolutely love. So go look at that cast list. I don't want to necessarily spoil anything if you're trying to stay away from spoilers.
Not spoil it, yes.
Yeah. No, we're not going to spoil anything.
We saw a shot of Alaqua Cox. I can't remember her name right now. Something like that. She plays Echo.
Yeah, Alaqua Cox. Yeah, my
daughter of.
She's the daughter of Kingpin. I think she's adoptive
daughter.
Yeah. Adopted daughter.
And I think potentially going to be involved in the series based on someone's social media presence.
Yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio apparently doesn't care about NDAs, but whatever. I mean,
he's already told people.
He's been in the industry long enough that he probably either he doesn't understand how Twitter works or he doesn't care about NDAs. But,
you see, a couple months ago, he liked a Hawkeye tweet, and then a bunch of people noticed it and screenshotted it, and it went viral. And then he unliked it because of that.
Yeah, he obviously doesn't.
But now he just doesn't care.
No, yeah,
you got to play the game.
So we see, and Garrison and I were talking about this before the show. We see this, I guess, for lack of a better term, this gang of guys all in the same uniform. What are they called, Garrison?
The Tracksuit Mafia.
The
Tracksuit Mafia. So the Tracksuit Mafia is a cool name, first of all, but obviously there's going to be somebody that they're reporting to.
They all say, bro.
Yeah. Bro.
I want to read that comic. Apparently, it's supposed to be really good.
That Matt Fraction's Hawkeye,
Fraction's Hawkeye,
and that's what the show is very based around. It's set in New York, like the comic is. It's got him and Kate Bishop. It's got the Tracksuit Mafia. And apparently there's a couple of one-to-one scenes in the trailer from that comic run, which I definitely need to.
Oh, that's
yes,
neat.
And yes, Florence Pugh will definitely be showing up in this show. Yes,
yeah, I guess.
Spoiler alert.
That's a little bit of a spoiler, Roth, but we'll go ahead and we'll go. I mean,
if you haven't seen Black Widow, I'm sorry.
It's speculated. Yeah. JLD. Oh, I don't know if she's going to be. It would make sense because they're trying to tie together that Thunderbolts group, but
Justice League Dark. Oh, sorry,
Yes.
wrong universe.
Yeah, wrong universe. Wrong
We'll get to there
universe.
soon, apparently.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. We'll talk about that. I'll try and figure out a schedule. But yeah.
There's a
That's-
cute dog in the trailer, Lucky.
Yes, Lucky.
Kate Bishop's dog. I hope he
One
blows
eye.
up on the internet.
Yeah, he has only got one eye. It looked like he was a one-eyed dog. It looked like, or
Potentially.
injured.
On set, he
If
definitely-
you name a one-eyed dog, you name him Lucky, right?
That's right. And of course, if he only had 3 legs, he'd be tripod. That's just what you name a dog with 3 legs. So I don't necessarily know the plot of this series. I haven't read anything on Reddit or anything like that. I mean, Kate Bishop is obviously a character that Feige has wanted to introduce into the MCU because they are eventually going to have to do a new Avengers type thing.
Well, she's a young Avengers, right?
A young Avenger, but I don't know if they're going to.
Call it young.
I
maybe
think
just
they're going to
new.
loop it in and just make them the new Avengers. I mean, because we're getting a lot of these younger characters introduced, like Elena, Kate Bishop. I mean, we're having a lot of these younger characters
It could be
introduced.
Thundercats or Thunderbolts or what? Not
Thunderbolts, right?
Thundercats. No, Thunderbolts.
Yeah, I mean, because we did see that with U.S. Patriot being involved with Julia Louis-Dreyfus, obviously at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier. We'll see. I mean, I don't. There's so many ways they could go with it, really. So, Ryfin, I know you go over these trailers with a fine-tooth comb. Was there anything in particular? Did we see Daredevil's hand anywhere in this? No.
Well.
Oh.
Echo
Hold
was
on.
covered in a red light. So
I like the snow. I like the vibe about.
Yeah,
Oh, we're
the
talking
Christmas
about
vibes.
that.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I called it very Shane Black. Uh-oh, I think we lost Earl.
I know he's frozen.
He's
I'm frozen.
Nope.
I'm
Your
frozen.
voice is back.
You're not frozen anymore. You're unfrozen caveman lawyer.
Zombie Doctor
Um,
Earl.
you are
He at
having
least
some,
came back for that.
you are having some internet issues though.
It's raining over here.
Yeah, that does happen in
That
this
affects
area.
me sometimes.
Yeah,
I'm moving
definitely.
perfectly in my world.
Well, that's good.
That's good. You're not perfect in our world,
Turn
but
my
that's
camera
okay.
off. Will that help?
As long as you're perfect in your world, that's all that matters, Dr. Earl.
Should I just talk?
Okay,
Oh,
maybe
well.
that'll work.
Seems to be working.
So maybe now he's gone again. I don't know. But
What?
is there
gone?
anything that
No. I think you're here. It's
You're
fine.
here.
We'll keep going. We'll keep going.
yeah. Was there anything in particular that you saw in the trailer, Ryfin, that we as the show viewer would be interested in?
Honestly, I think we hit all the stuff. The Echo
Okay.
was something that, it was like a quick flash of her on screen, and that's going to be an important character because she's potentially getting a spin-off show
Yes.
coming to Disney Plus. I would expect that to be announced on November 12th.
Yeah,
but
Disney
you never
Plus
know.
Day. Yeah.
I'm sure, Disney Plus Day. I'm sure they've got a million shows that they've got lined up to potentially.
Man,
announce, so.
I mean, there is going to be so much content coming our way, not only theatrical, but I mean,
Yes.
Disney Plus, obviously. It's 2022 and 2023 are going to kind of be like nonstop.
I mean, like, I think 24 had like 4 movies or 5
Yeah.
movies. One of them has
Yeah.
5 movies. And it's like, and then you got all the shows on top of it. It's almost getting to the point where, like, I don't want to say oversaturation because if they keep making good content, then no one's really going to care.
yeah.
But you
that's
are
true.
afraid that it does start to degrade,
I don't know. I'm at the point now where I'm just like,
I trust Feige, but
I trust Feige and give me all the content. I don't want
Yeah.
like a down week. I don't want like a down week. I want like to go from Marvel show to Marvel movie, then to
We
Marvel
got to
show.
keep
Like
moving.
I don't. Yeah,
can't-
exactly. We got to keep
I-
moving. I do not want a down week at all.
I cannot remember how many weeks this year we've had content, but I did it for Marvel. And it was like 30 something out of
Yeah.
52.
Yeah,
And then on top of that, you have 2 or 3 weeks where you have 2 things, a movie and a show coming out, an episode coming out the same week. So it's if you're a Marvel fan, it's a glorious time. And my hope is as a guy who grew up a DC fan, someday we can get there.
Yeah. Well, I think so. I think there's obviously a lot planned, and we'll see some of that during DC Fandom. We'll see some announcements during that, I think, as well.
Yes.
But so the other trailer that just dropped today, actually earlier today, was the mid-season trailer for What If.
Yes.
I haven't seen this yet.
Yeah, there was
some old, some new.
Yeah, some old like what they do that with these mid-season trailers now, where they'll kind of recap some of the stuff that happened in the first few episodes of the season, and then also give you some glimpses of things to see.
And we saw evil Doctor Strange talking to looked like Thor.
Yes.
So you mean Shaven Thor?
And yes, and we saw what's her name? We saw Black Widow taking on Ultron bots. So maybe that Hyundai commercial was kind of spoilery.
Yeah, exactly. What I took away from this trailer for the first time led me to believe that there is an event that all of these characters are coming towards. Because the Watcher even makes a comment during the trailer that maybe there is still a way to save the multiverse.
Yeah.
Which is interesting to me. I mean, I know, Garrison, you all along were telling us, hey, there's going to be a team up here at some point, but I didn't know how they were going to do it.
Well, before the show came out, there was like a poster at one of these hobby stores or whatever that said like Guardians of the Multiverse.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was my first like, okay, well, maybe it's just like all the characters put together from all these different episodes. And it's just saying they're the guardians of this kind of thing. But then that Hyundai commercial came out and it made me start going, I feel like there's going to be a team up here.
Yeah.
And it always feels like Marvel leads to a team up in a lot of ways. So it would just make sense, and it could be a cute one-off. And maybe, they have the second season coming up, so they could do it again at the end of the second season with different characters. And potentially not Chadwick anymore, which kind of really stinks. Because I'm sure his character will be back. We got another episode, last week with him. He was in that episode, so that was one of his 4.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not the Star-Lord Chadwick, but it was
right. Exactly.
It was a Black Panther who was being held captive that we'll talk about later.
Yeah. So. Very interesting. It makes me a bit more excited. It's funny, I tweeted out obviously that we were doing this episode, and I immediately got a response from somebody that they haven't dug What If that much. And that's interesting. I mean, I certainly haven't liked like every single thing about each episode that we've gotten. But let's go ahead and jump in to zombies, which I love. That's what they called it. What If Zombies? And that's
zombies ? Exclamation point.
Yeah. Because I went in kind of not interested in the whole zombie thing, because I'm like, do we really have to zombify every single thing? But I ended up having a lot of fun with this particular episode, just because it was characters teaming up that you don't get to see team up that often, like kind of work together. That there's usually many more of them, obviously, and it was a unique group of people that were working together to try and figure out this zombie thing. It was interesting the way it happened, where they kind of come from space, right? I mean,
they come
through a portal.
Through the quantum realm.
Yeah, through the quantum realm, and it's like a portal or something, right? I mean, at the beginning of the episode, I don't remember.
They come from Ant-Man and the Wasp. It was poor Hank Pym. Hank Pym went back to get
he went into the quantum realm
to get his wife, but in that universe, Janet had turned into a zombie through some sort of quantum realm virus.
Yeah.
And Hank came back and killed Scott Lang, basically. Obviously, we see what happens to Scott later. Janet survives, or Hope survives. Sorry, Janet's the wife. And then I think we pick up back where Hulk is, basically.
Man, and the thought of a quantum realm virus is like the scariest thing on the face of the earth, because there's probably some bad stuff in the quantum realm that you do not want to bring
You
back.
don't want to unleash that.
You
Yeah.
don't want to unleash that at all. So, from a standpoint of this episode, Earl, what were your takeaways or thoughts just in general about the episode?
I mean, let me say this. I wasn't really super pumped about a zombies episode.
Yeah, that's what I
But
said.
then
too,
it was actually better than it had to be.
yeah. Okay.
Like it had more story and heart and
Yeah.
surprises to it. I liked that the Wasp had sort of a big role,
Mhm.
literally a big role.
Yeah, yeah.
I liked how they used Scott Lang and sort of the in team.
Yeah.
But there was a concept that nobody was safe,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is kind of part of what zombie movies are about. So it was
they
interesting.
killed Happy twice. We got him.
Yeah.
He was
That's
turned into a
right.
zombie, and then he was
That's
killed as
right.
a zombie.
Yeah.
It was a little bloodier. Like it was pretty to
This
have
is
some.
really like 2 episodes in a row that I'm like hesitant to show my kid.
You don't need to
it's
show
like-
this to your kid.
Yeah,
Very
it's
dark
like-
content.
yeah, it's like some darker content than I was expecting. I mean, obviously, when you know that there's a zombies episode coming, you're like, oh, it's probably going to be pretty dark. But they went bloody too. I mean, they weren't
Yeah.
shying away from some of the content, which I mean, for me that's fine. But I mean, it was interesting that an animated show that's supposedly for kids, but not so
Right.
much.
First 2 episodes were very, very silly and almost kiddish.
Right. And so that's what I thought the tone of the series was going to
Yeah.
be. I mean, given those first 2 episodes.
And then you got a murder mystery, which was still kind of kiddish. And then you got Doctor
Yeah.
Strange episode, which is very dark.
Dark, and then
And
you
kids
move-
might not get the full implications of everything. And,
right. And a lot of the characters. So it was interesting, and I didn't do what I usually do, which is go over the voice cast, because obviously we have some different people playing our beloved characters here, because we know Tom Holland did not come back as Spider-Man.
Surprising.
Which-
Well,
maybe a Sony thing. I don't know.
it might be a Sony thing. So as far as our voice cast, I mean, obviously, as always, we've got Jeffrey Wright as the Watcher, Mark Ruffalo back as Bruce Banner, Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa, and the actual T'Challa, not Star Lord T'Challa in this. Paul Bettany as Vision,
Mhm.
Sebastian Stan's back as Bucky Barnes, Evangeline Lilly as Hope Van Dyne, Paul Rudd as Scott Lang, which you could definitely tell that was Paul Rudd.
Unmistakable.
Yeah, Favreau was Happy Hogan.
Yeah.
This is surprising. Danny Guerra did come back as Okio. Is that
Oh, good.
Okoye.
No, Okoye? Yeah, that was actually her.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Emily Van Camp as Sharon Carter.
Yep.
David Damalstian, and I can't say the
Yes.
guy's last name. He was.
I know. I can't either.
He was Kirk. So
He
our
was.
our Peter Parker was Hudson Thames.
Yes.
Not familiar.
He did
no, I'm
fine,
not either.
but
In fact, I think Josh Keaton was listed in the voice cast.
He's Steve Rogers.
He's Steve Rogers, but I guess he played the.
Yeah, he just was
but he's
doing-
actually like known for doing Spider-Man on a cartoon.
interesting.
So there was a lot of speculation because people knew he was in the episode that maybe he would reprise as
Yeah.
Spider-Man, but sadly that was not the case.
So the only other that wasn't listed as additional voices was Tom Von Lawler as Ebony Maw.
now is that the original?
yeah. He sounded just like him.
It sounded just like him, didn't it? Let me look. Yes, it is. That's the
Okay.
guy.
Okay.
That's the guy who was Ebony Maw. And so that's
Rejoice and
I
despair.
was going to say,
Yeah.
if that was not the original guy, they should get that guy back if they ever need someone.
yeah. A lot of fun additional voices. Fred Tassicor, who is a guy that's been doing voice work forever, did some additional voices for this. Matthew Wood of Skywalker Sound did some additional voices. Let me see if I knew any. Yeah, those are the only 2 that I would recognize the names.
I'm going to
from.
make a comment on one of the voice actors.
Okay.
And that is Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
I did not think he was the strongest performer of the episode.
No, he's
wow.
yeah. I mean, it's
yeah.
interesting.
I also don't think I wish they would do the animation so you could like to me I was like David Dalmatian and some of the faces all look the same to me. Like it wasn't distinctive enough.
Yeah,
Like
I see what you're
Ruffalo
saying.
didn't look like Ruffalo to me.
Kurt definitely didn't look like Kurt in the movies.
No.
Now, I think Scott Lang. I think his head looked like Scott Lang. I mean, I could tell that was Scott Lang.
Spider-Man
Yeah, he
looked
was
a
one of the better
little
ones,
different.
but I don't know.
Yeah, Spider-Man looked a little different.
Spider-Man looked a little different, but it's also this is kind of a cool aspect. That is not his MCU costume. I don't know if they don't have the rights to it or if they wanted to do this on purpose, but that is his Disneyland costume.
Interesting.
The one that it's got these little gauntlets on it, these little silver gauntlets, and that little spider emblem are from the
Interesting.
Disneyland. That's the Disneyland costume. So I think that's kind of cool that they've implemented that into the Marvel stuff in some way.
Yeah,
that
maybe
is
some rights
interesting.
issues. Then I wonder.
Yeah, there might be with Sony. Sony may have created.
Thanks, Sony.
Thanks, Sony. Jeez. Good grief. Sony trying to steal Tom Holland's version of Spider-Man from us.
If they could, they would.
Yeah, no, you're right. There was a lot of really good action sequences in this episode. I thought that there was some cool stuff. Obviously the Captain America zombie was terrifying.
He's the scariest of all.
He was definitely the scariest of all. Any zombie with that level of strength is not something that you want to have to deal with. And like you said, Earl, they were just killing people off. I mean, or zombifying people. They weren't necessarily killing them off, but they did not mind killing people off that you were kind of rooting for in the episode. So I thought that was, I like that they weren't afraid of doing something like that.
I was glad to see Kurt from the Ant-Man movies because I didn't think we'd ever see him in a What If episode. But if I wanted to see any of those sidekicks, I would have loved to have seen Luis.
Yeah, me too. And who's to say he might not be in something later? We've still got what's 4 episodes left.
Well, because you got the Spider-Man vlog that's kind of introducing you to the world. I almost want like a Luis explaining everything that happened, introducing us to the zombie world.
So here's what we've got so far.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
So Hank Pym wanted to go back and
Roth trying to tie in the theme park rules to the animation rules. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think it's more just the Sony rights to
I think so.
to the costumes. I mean, I don't think so. But yeah, I see what you're trying to do there.
Scarlet Witch being so she was pretty terrifying.
She was pretty terrifying as well.
If I was a younger kid, I would be like, "Whoa, I don't like."
Oh yeah. No, she was vicious. I mean, and she reminded me of the character in oh gosh, I can't. Dawn of the Dead, the most, not Dawn of the Dead, but the most Army of the Dead.
Oh, the
witch character, kind of like reminded me a little bit of one of those zombies in that
zombies.
Movie. Yeah, the female zombies in that movie, because gosh, she was vicious, but she was upset because of Vision killing himself basically, and that was another really dark thing that happened.
At first, Vision kind of did an opposite of WandaVision, where he isolated himself with Wanda, who was dead, and trying to find a way to bring her back, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was on purpose. Possible.
It worked. I mean, he was certainly conflicted.
And to be eating T'Challa.
I was about to say, and he's serving his potential. He's serving his friends up as dinner to Wanda, basically.
Yeah.
He's not a very good android in that situation.
No, I mean
but he did a tone and
he said, "What am I doing?"
yeah, and just ripped his. Yeah, I mean, vicious, and she did not take well to that and went on a bit of a rampage after that.
Wanda brings the horror in this episode. Which maybe she will to Doctor Strange as well.
That's maybe a foreshadowing.
Maybe a bit of foreshadowing, and I think that I just wonder if they're using this show to just prepare the audience for maybe some things that we're going to see in live action eventually. I'm still not convinced that we're going to see the multiverse version of a lot of these characters. I think that they're going to stay away from that. I think it gets way too complicated if you if you start trying to bring in multiple versions of the same character
in the main movies.
In the main movies, I think it's a lot.
Your best opportunity to do that is Doctor Strange too. in the movie called In the Multiverse of Madness. If you were ever going to introduce them, that's
It's
where
madness.
It is madness.
Other than that,
Yeah.
you don't want to deviate too far, probably.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're just getting. I mean, I think that the themes that they're going to introduce in Spider-Man are going to be crazy enough for some people.
Well, and that's
yeah.
kind of already established from previous Spider-Man movies, which that's fine to me. I just want to have fun and watch Spider-Man beat up the Sinister Six from
The Sinister Six, yeah, exactly.
Or Spider-Man.
That'd be cool.
yeah,
That'd be really
exactly.
awesome.
Exactly. So
They all
yeah,
gotta have their own movies first.
no, they don't need to do that. They
Mobius.
that is a thing that
Yeah.
Sony would do,
Craven.
but
Riding on his
Gosh.
jet ski for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about
Rhinoceros.
Morbius. Oh, okay.
Morbius,
Yeah.
Oh,
the
Morbius.
vampi-
I'm sorry.
the
not Morbius.
vampire. Yeah,
I forget the name of this throwaway character.
It's fine. I did that during Loki the entire time. So
well, I mean,
Morbius.
they're definitely trying to make those movies more important to us than they probably are, but we'll see. I mean, Ryfin said he's excited about Venom 2 now.
I'm excited about an aspect of Venom 2. When Tom Hardy is telling people at the screening today that
Yeah.
you don't tell anybody about what's in these credit scenes,
Yeah.
it
Oh,
makes
wait
me
a minute
go,
now.
Yeah, it makes me like, okay, now I want to see that. What are you talking about? What is so cool about these credit scenes that I have to suffer through the movie to get there?
Well, hey, at least you don't have to suffer long. It's only an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's
So you don't have
yeah.
to suffer long.
I hear it's potentially an hour 40, but yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
With the
maybe
end
with the
credit scene.
credit. Yeah, the
Yeah.
end credits and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, Venom. First of all, I wasn't a Venom guy, and I know we're off track here. I wasn't ever a Venom guy, but Venom always felt like the Vin Diesel XXX version of Marvel Comics, like high octane, like
Yes.
the movies, like that type of thing.
The
Like,
movie.
yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know. I mean, I
It's not for
liked
me.
I liked the first Venom much more than I thought I would,
Yes.
but this
I
one
liked
just,
it more than I thought I would.
This
That doesn't
one
mean I
seems-
thought it was good.
Yeah, this one just seems like Woody Harrelson. He does not need to be in genre films. Like he just needs to like
He's
do
great in Edge of
dramatic.
17. Edge
He's
of
what?
17.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. He needs to do smaller, like just indie films and stay away from these. Like he was okay in Solo, but it just like every time he was on screen, I was like, oh, there's Woody. I mean, it's just like, yeah, it's like every time you see the guy in a genre film, you're like, oh, there's Woody. And the same thing with the Hunger Game films. Now he was a little bit different and was doing a little bit more in those, and and had a bit of depth to the character. But this Carnage thing is just, again, though, I'm not a Venom guy. Apparently, it's a super popular character, though. So
Yeah, he is. I'll just say my only thing I want to say on it is I don't like the idea of Venom without Spider-Man. But that's all I'm going to say.
they might get there, though. They might get there.
Agreed.
But
Agreed.
he wasn't initially with Spider-Man. And then went to Eddie Brock, a disgraced Eddie Brock.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
They're
I just have an
doing
issue
it
with
out
that.
of they're doing it out of order of what it really happened in the
Yeah.
comics, I guess. But
I do love Tom Hardy.
I
I like
here.
watching Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
So.
Same here. I do as well. Roth is saying that he wants Topher Grace back as Venom.
I don't.
I think you're the only person, Roth. No.
Tom Hardy actually fits the actual role of Eddie Brock in terms of stature.
But was Topher playing Eddie Brock in that movie?
Yeah.
Oh, he was? I didn't remember.
Yeah,
that.
what Raimi was asked to include Venom, and he made Venom more of a rival to Peter,
Right.
Right.
like a skinny reporter,
Yeah.
not reporter, a photographer,
Photographer. Yeah.
instead of a disgraced reporter from another part of town.
Roth redeemed himself with that. Awful movie.
Okay, I mean, I don't think Spider-Man 3 is awful, but
I don't know, man.
I think Spider-Man 2 is awful. Amazing Spider-Man 2, not Spider-Man.
All right, so we need to come
Anyway.
back to this. Obviously, this is zombies episode.
Back to the zombies.
Yeah, although
Yes.
it was cool. I mean, I don't think that there was much substance to it necessarily.
Is
It
there
was
more?
It was just a zombie movie, basically.
Well,
Oh,
well,
I
I
mean,
mean,
sequel
yeah, I
because that ending
don't-
left a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
It did. It left like a cliffhanger, like some of the other episodes have, where it's kind of an ominous cliffhanger. We had
Mhm.
Thanos with 5 of the 6 Infinity Stones, which means he's already gone through with throwing Gamora off the thing, and I guess he came to Earth and immediately got bit.
Yeah.
But they were bringing that stone that he needed to him.
Yes.
the Mind Stone, right? So
Yeah.
I
Although
think
he's
that
not
was
at,
just a twist.
he's not at Wakanda yet, but yeah, that is kind of the oh no, this really isn't happy twist.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
As Scott, Peter, and T'Challa fly off
Yeah.
to Wakanda. I like that there was a possible cure. I do hope that in season 2 they give this episode a sequel. That is actually one of my hopes.
Well, hey, I mean, who
could
was
happen.
it today? I mean, Mark Miller seems to think there's going to be a live action Marvel Zombies show.
Yeah,
Oh,
I hope they don't do
Please
it. That's
don't do
exactly
that.
what
Please
my
don't do that.
hey,
um,
I don't Mark Miller's a guy that would not lie about that.
Mark
but,
Miller.
Yeah.
look, I think Marvel's exploring all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah.
you saw the other day they tried to get Shooter to sign a contract to do a new Secret Wars, and in the contract said that we would have the film rights to do Secret Wars.
Oh,
And
did he sign the contract?
and he did not, I don't think.
Oh,
'cause-
Who's
so
Shooter? Who's that?
the
Jim
guy that-
Shooter,
Yeah,
the guy who wrote the original Secret Wars comic.
yeah.
Wow. So he didn't sign it.
He denied them. Money's not everything to people. I mean, some people have pride and they don't.
Well, I
want
think the thing was he wasn't going to get I think he was just signing off the rights, so he wasn't going to get money.
Oh, he wasn't gonna get any money. He
He was going to get the money to write the story, I guess. But then, yeah.
Why would you? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know
If
Secret
they're going to
Wars.
change it. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, it won't be the exact same at all. But
I liked Spider-Man in this episode. The voice actor was trying to do a Tom Holland Peter Parker impression.
Sure.
Which is clear. But I liked the vlog aspect
Yeah.
of it, which
That
it
was
connected.
cool.
It connected to Homecoming, which is around the time that this is all happening.
Mhm.
He imparts some Aunt May wisdom to the crew,
yeah,
which is something that Spider-Man does.
yeah,
And he also mentions Ben Parker for the first time in
He
the Marvel
does.
Cinematic Universe.
yeah. That was interesting. Because we haven't seen the Tom Holland Spider-Man version of what actor played Ben Parker, have we?
No, we haven't.
And maybe not even in a picture on
We've
a
had,
mantle
you know,
or something.
We've
but-
had hints of Ben Parker when he tells Tony in Civil War. He basically tells him the line, "With great power comes great responsibility," but he says it in
Right.
a longer way.
yeah.
We have the Ben Parker suitcase in Far From Home.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, Ben Parker is there. He's a part of the origin.
Roth's trying to play with my heart right here.
Oh my
No, thank-
gosh.
He's already in a bad superhero movie. So
How you shut your mouth? You
Are we talking
shut
about
your
Waterworld?
mouth.
don't save me.
Dude, I loved that scene. I was bawling my eyes out during that scene.
Oh, he's so.
He's
Gosh,
so
Costner.
awesome. Costner's awesome.
The podcast from Superman 78 is better.
Okay, fine. I'll give you that.
I liked the Hulk saving Banner aspect of the episode. We didn't see the kind of end of that as he's
No.
fighting Wanda.
Yeah.
But every time he was getting bit, like Hulk would come out and
Yes.
kind of,
And
I guess
keep him
he was
from
not able to get bit.
Yeah, exactly. Keep him from getting zombified. But yeah, it was funny that we were seeing the version of Hulk that was trying to stay repressed, though.
Yeah.
For a
Yeah,
lot of the
no.
episode.
Right from
Yeah.
Yeah.
Infinity War.
Yep. It's
What-
because that is an important point, Dr. Earl. This is my
Yeah.
last note I actually really have written down. That's
Oh, okay.
anything. We get told that we see that scene at the beginning. It says 2 weeks earlier, after Banner crashes down 2 weeks beforehand.
Yeah.
Chronologically, we now know, at least I think this is the first time we know this, that Ant-Man and the Wasp takes place 2 weeks before Infinity War. We knew it had to be. We knew it was kind of concurrent with Infinity War
Interesting.
because of the mid-credit scene being the snap.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was an interesting chronological detail that they gave us.
if it can be trusted.
Hey,
It's
At
a
least
different
in this
We
universe.
don't know.
in
Yeah.
this, at least in this universe. That's
Endless
true.
possibilities.
In the,
Yes.
But no,
endless
I do like that
possibilities.
thought that they
Yeah.
were bringing home Janet Van Dyne
Yeah.
2 weeks before.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She-
And then 2 weeks later, they start doing the sending Scott back in, and he gets
Right.
stuck in there for 5 hours, as he says. But it was
Mhm.
really 5 years.
5
on
years.
the outside.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Well, I think that we have covered as much as we can. We kind of
It's only
know
9:40.
we kind of know that the next episode is very much focused around Killmonger. We saw
Yeah.
a little bit of a
Uh,
preview. And
There's
it's
a name for it.
Michael B. Jordan back as Killmonger. So that's a cool tidbit there.
It is called "What If Killmonger Rescued Tony Stark?" And
Okay.
the preview showed that
Ooh.
the preview showed that he infiltrated the Killmonger had infiltrated the 10 rings. I guess this is a supposed Killmonger whose dad didn't abandon Wakanda or whatever, and you know, grew up in Wakanda.
Yeah, yeah. So this is the
So he's not. I'm gonna guess he's not a bad guy.
right. Yeah, I think the idea, because from what I gathered in that particular mid-season preview that we got, is this isn't the only episode Killmonger is going to be in.
Yeah,
I
he's going to
think
be in the team up episode.
He's going to be in the team up. Yeah, that was, dude, that one scene. And Earl, I know this is a spoiler for you, Earl, in case you were ever going to watch Space Jam, but there was a funny Michael B. Jordan.
It's the
versus
best scene in the movie.
The best scene in the movie.
It's
So
it's
I know
at,
where that's going.
they're at halftime, and they said they've got Michael Jordan there.
yeah.
One of the characters found Michael Jordan, and this like slow entrance music walking
You see
towards
his
the
feet
camera,
walking in.
smoky, like
yeah.
smoky all around him, and then
And it's Michael B. Jordan.
it's Michael B. Jordan.
It's good stuff. Sorry for anybody who is upset about Space Jam spoilers.
Oh, the rest of the movie sucks, so I wouldn't.
Yes, the rest of the movie was absolutely horrible. So gosh, I mean, we're down to the nitty gritty here because we've only got 4 episodes left.
Wow.
That'll take us all the way to like October 6th. And then it seems as if, and you know, we'll obviously go over this again as the closer we get to it, but it seems as if we're going to have to take a couple weeks off because there's just not going to be much content. But
Well, the 13th.
the cool thing. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. So we'll have a show on the 12th, and then we'll have another show after that on the 19th.
Yes,
You know
because on the 16th is DC Fandom, where DC Warner Brothers is going to release a lot of cool content,
What?
supposedly, or like upcoming previews of upcoming content and whatnot, and maybe some new stuff. And so
there'll be a new Batman trailer there.
yeah, there'll definitely be a new Batman trailer. So what we will definitely do on the 19th is talk about DC Fandom, and then we're going to take a couple weeks off, October 26th and November 2nd. And then on November 9th, we're going to do a spoiler-free conversation about Eternals, because the movie obviously comes out on the 5th. So we're just, you know, we're not going to spoil anything, but we'll come back and talk about that just to give some content to you guys, because we're running out of shows here, obviously. The 16th, we will be able to talk about Disney Plus Day. Ton of content. So that's November 16th. Ton of content. And then, yes, as alluded to right here by Mr. Roth in Wyoming, the Yellowstone show will be returning. In fact, the Yellowstone show should be returning on
November 7th.
November 7th?
Yeah, Yellowstone's coming back. So
No.
on the 7th. Yep.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, November 7th. So what we've decided to do is split the Marvel Star Wars show, keep it on Tuesdays, and we're going to try and do Yellowstone on Thursdays. So that'll be myself, Dr. Earl, and Roth in Wyoming doing Yellowstone on Thursdays.
Yes.
I don't know if Melissa is still here or if she'll watch this later, but that is something Melissa will want to know because I know she's a Yellowstone fan.
And I'll be in the crowd, not knowing whatever you guys are talking about.
Exactly. Yeah.
As I've only seen like the first 20 minutes of the show. So.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we're gonna have Deucecast Extra 2 times a week starting in November. I don't know if Dr. Earl can handle it, but he's gonna try.
We'll see what we can do.
We'll see what we can do.
On November 24th, Hawkeye starts up, and that runs through until the last week of December.
Yeah. And then we should be close to Book of Boba Fett.
No, wait,
Book of
what
Boba
Star
Fett?
Wars show are we doubling up on, Michael?
Yeah,
This
there's
is Marvel Star Wars.
There's
You come
probably going to be some
Book of
double
Boba Fett.
up. Yeah, Book of Boba Fett is going to be real close to coming out around.
Yeah, if it's not in December, it'll be January.
Yeah, so if they push Book of Boba Fett, that would actually be helpful because it's tough to talk about like Hawkeye and Book of Boba Fett in the same show. We're going to do it, but it's going to be tough. That's a lot.
That's
of
a little
a
different.
lot of content.
It's a little different than a cartoon and a
exactly.
yeah.
It's very different than a cartoon and a show. So I mean, we'll see what happens. We're going to obviously talk about Visions, and I believe Nick is going to come back on and help us talk about Visions when it comes out. The way they're doing that show is they're just dropping it all at once because it's shorts. It's like 5-minute shorts, some a little bit longer. We may break that up into 2 episodes though, depending on how long all of the episodes are together. So we'll see. I mean, anyways, we are going to take Thanksgiving week off, I think. Well, maybe not. Yeah, I mean, I forgot about Yellowstone. We will probably, since the Thanksgiving is on the 25th of November, which is Thursday, obviously. So we may have to take a Yellowstone week off. We're probably going to take Thanksgiving week off in general, because that's family time.
In observance with the holiday, the Deuce
in
Cast.
observance of the Thanksgiving holiday.
We are thankful for Yellowstone.
We are thankful for Yellowstone
And Hawkeye.
And Hawkeye. Yeah,
Comes
so
out.
we're probably going to have to take 1 week off, and then Hawkeye starts the 24th, so we'll be recording on the 30th for Hawkeye. So that I'm not worried about that.
Is Costner going to shoot more horses that get in car accidents or whatever? 'Cause that's all I've seen of Yellowstone.
That's all you've seen of Yellowstone. Well, hey, it's better for the horse.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that.
Yeah, it's better
I
for
was
the
just like, I didn't realize how dark the show was. I was like, dang.
Oh, it gets dark.
Obviously
darkness.
we'll let you guys know the week before, like what weeks. There's only going to be 3 weeks off, total for the rest of the year. So, we're going to have a lot of content, but we are going to take a break for a little while to give ourselves a little vacation. Yeah. I just want to know, Roth, have you ever had to shoot a horse? Because Roth
Does he live on a ranch?
He claims he's a cowboy. So I don't know. I think isn't everybody from Wyoming a cowboy?
Yeah, of course.
Is that how that works?
400,000 or whatever.
Yeah. What's the population in Wyoming? Is it
400,000? I don't know.
It's like 40 people or something.
40?
578,000.
Roth,
Okay.
I've ridden a horse like twice. I like that. That's good.
He does hang out
with cowboys. Okay.
We expect
it.
to introduce us to some real life cowboys.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Well, as always, we really appreciate the live chat. It really makes it fun. I know Roth took care of that this week mostly. We had
No
Melissa
Rhett?
for a bit.
No red at the restaurant.
Rhett-
Still in rehearsals.
Rhett
Wow.
is in the throes of a local play.
He's become a thespian.
He's become a thespian. Yes.
He's a thespian.
Thespian.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Oh,
what? I don't know. Thespian. Yeah, exactly. So again, the chat, it really makes it fun for me. I don't know if it makes it fun for Garrison and Earl.
Oh, no,
but
it definitely does.
It makes it really fun for me. So Roth, we appreciate you being here and making this a lot of fun for us. As always with YouTube, the thing with YouTube is subscribers. We'd love you guys to share the episode, so we can hopefully get some more subscribers. Roth, I know you've subscribed on like 15 different emails, so I'm not asking any more of you, Roth. You've helped us get to 50 subscribers, which I'm happy to be at. And I would still do the show if we only were at 42 or whatever we were at before you subscribed on so many different ways.
I've subscribed on 2 accounts, so
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I would still be doing the show if we only had one person, in all honesty, because I love talking about this stuff, and this gives me a good outlet to talk about it, since the Deuce Cast movie show is focused obviously on movies, but I watch a lot of TV as well. So this is a good outlet for me.
I maybe make a cameo tomorrow on the Deuce Guest
That's
movie
right.
show.
You may make
Maybe.
a brief, depending on how David edits the show, you may make a brief cameo tomorrow on the episode that's released. It's a fun episode with Scott Rifen unknowingly coming on the episode. That was a fun episode. We'll see what happens. I don't know how David will edit it. So that's always fun for me to listen to it after David edits it because I have no idea what he's going to do.
I mean, Garrison may have a Kevin Costner edit where we just see his hand.
Just see his hand. Like, yeah, exactly.
On a podcast.
On a podcast. Yeah, it does. It doesn't work quite that way, but it's all good. Well, I appreciate everybody listening. If you happen to listen to this later or watch this later, please leave a comment. I'll do my best to reply to your comment. And we will definitely be back next week for What If Episode 6. All around Killmonger. So we will see exactly how that goes. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you guys next week.